Hey guys, so I recently listened to an audiobook called Dragons of Dorcastle, first in the Pillars of Reality series by Jack Campbell. These were actually specifically written to be audiobooks, all 6 in the series released in quick succession from the end of 2014 to August of this year. This story takes place in a world dominated by 2 opposing points of view, 2 guilds that believe the other to be ridiculous, and our 2 main characters are each on one of these sides. These are the mechanics and the mages. The mechanics are engineers. They build things, use physical invention and tools to accomplish things and put themselves above normal people that are not a part of that guild. They make and use trains, guns, and other sort of steampunky devices. The mages, on the other hand, use magic, they believe, and are taught that everything in the world is an illusion. The people, the places, mechanic inventions, and reality itself are all illusions. The magic they use, as they describe it, is a tap into those illusions. They alter the reality around them so that they see it as completely necessary to maintain the mindset that all is not actually real. They are forced from a young age to not feel emotion, to not get attached to anything or anyone, and to treat all others as if they don't actually exist. The Mage Guild is extremely abusive, while the mechanics are less so. However, both are more similar than they realize or like to admit, in that they are satisfied with how things are, the hierarchy of it, and will resist change at all costs. Marie, our mechanic character, is already an accomplished master at a fairly young age. Because of how old she is, she has a hard time earning the respect and recognition she deserves from those who don't already know her. She's brilliant and resourceful and a bit hot-tempered. And then there's Elaine, a mage of similar age to Marie, who lives every bit of his life the way he's been taught by the elders of his guild. He's constantly questioning, though, within himself what the purpose of some of these things are, and has a hard time keeping his emotions in check the way he knows he should and the way he's been taught to. Marie and Elaine find themselves traveling together, something completely unheard of, a mage and a mechanic doing anything alone together, after an attack befalls this convoy of wagons they're both a part of. Marie is within one of those wagons, traveling purposefully to their destination, and Elaine has been hired to help protect the wagons. He fails to do so, and so offers to help Marie complete her journey, as he sees it as his duty to continue protecting her. As the characters begin to start trying to understand one another, and fail at it much of the time, they are thrown back into a more normal social situation in which a mage and a mechanic would never speak with one another. Each of their 2 guilds are very concerned by their having traveled together for any length of time, and some curious things seem to be happening specifically around the Mechanic Guild. Marie has been brought to the city to fix a problem with this machine that shouldn't be able to do what it does, and those with the problem subsequently are now a problem themselves. I quite enjoyed most of this. It's a lot of fun, and the combined elements of fantasy and steampunk are perfectly mixed. The settings and the characters feel fully immersed within this world where those things coexist, or rather refuse to acknowledge the legitimacy of one another. This is the book's best quality and works quite well, and that lends itself nicely to our understanding of the characters and how they act and their motivations. They themselves are a little typical, and their pairing is a bit predictable in how it plays out. I did like them as people, though, and look forward to learning more about them throughout the rest of the series. This first one very much sets up these 2 for a much larger story, as the plot of this one is fairly straightforward. It really seems like just a small part of much more happening in this world and with these 2 guilds that they're only at the beginning of breaking into. This was far more of a romance story than I thought it would be. In fact, other than the combined and equal influence of the steampunk and fantasy genres, romance is definitely the strongest subgenre within this. There's mystery there, too, surrounding both the goings-on of the guilds and the machine that Marie has to fix, but easily more prominent is the relationship our 2 main characters have with one another. I really don't say that in any sort of way to be judgmental, as the romance isn't a bad one necessarily, just to let you know that that is very heavily featured, so you can decide for yourself if that'd bother you. It is unfortunate that at times, especially in the case of Marie, sometimes the characterization in relation to the romance is more important in the writing than the individual characterization of each of them. Like the plot, the writing is fairly straightforward and tends to put action, character, and inner dialogue above any description or any extraneous details. This is mainly a fun, fast-paced story that really does make you care about the 2 main characters and maybe want to continue on with the series to see what the larger implications of this first book are. And I look forward to seeing what happens next. So those are all my quick thoughts on this audiobook. I do definitely recommend it if you're interested in seeing that melding of mages and mechanics, because that is an interesting pairing, and I do quite enjoy that aspect of it, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which I'll be doing very soon. So if you're interested at all, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it if you come across it on Audible. I would love to hear how your experience has been with it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later with more.